Hello, today I'm gonna be working in this McCall project, the jumper McCalls 7831. In fact, I am wearing it and I'm gonna make another one in black. As right now, I have all the pieces cut off. I have the front, the back, the straps, the pocket, and the two facings. Now I'm gonna start sewing it. The first thing I'm gonna do is transfer all my markings to the pieces. This is the pocket, the only pocket that I have at front. So I'm gonna do I like to use my ruler to do the markings. I'm gonna put the 5/8 seam allowance that goes on one side, the 5/8 inches seam allowance from the other side as well. This will make my sewing much easier if I have it already marked. This is a chalk pencil. I never bought it. It was a gift given to me. I have the pocket ready. Now the second mark I'm gonna make is, this is the front pattern, and I'm gonna transfer in the pattern where is the placement for the pocket. I can do this. Number 14 is the size that I make. It goes here. And also, where would it go? The sign or the mark for the bottom. Now I can absolutely remove it and transfer it to the other side. I use pins for this to help me. Here it goes. One pin goes here and the other in here. I'm gonna trace a line to make sure my pocket is gonna be in good alignment. And here will go the pocket. That's what I do. I just make sure it's gonna go from that dot to the next one. So it's perfect. From pocket done, transferring markings, and also the front pattern. What I'm gonna do next is transfer markings in the back pattern the markings that we have in here is for the straps. And it says top stitching. So let's see. We will go for strap. And top stitching, but that's not necessary as right now. You can do it as well if it pleases you. Fold it, that's what I would do. Fold it in a line, and then you make your top stitching. And in fact, we will transfer the same stitch, the same marking in the next side of the bag. Because the straps will be one on top of the other here in the middle, I don't need to mark this. That's the back. And now I will do the straps. I already interfaced them. And I notice they have mark only here on the end. So I'm gonna do the same. This time I'm gonna use a marker. And I'm gonna do transfer my dot. I use Crayola. This you find it for the children. Is a Crayola washable marker. In that way I don't have to worry about my fabric being damaged. I have used it for years and I never have had any problem with my fabric being ruined or having any yellow stuff or anything that have happened to other people with other markers. So I actually would recommend that marker. So here we go. I mark each side. And I am done transferring all the marks from my pattern to my project. Okay, so the first thing that I'm gonna sew is gonna be the strap and make ready the pocket. So let's begin. Second strap. So all the straps are already sewn all the way through, both of them. What I have to do is turn it around, iron them, and now what I'm gonna do is the pocket. Remember the pocket had that line, and also this is the front of my pocket. So what I'm gonna do is, and this is the back, I'm gonna turn my pocket through the same line but to the self fabric or to the good side of the fabric. I'm going to I mark already a line in the back. Here goes the pocket. Me personally, I like to do this to make sure the unraveling of the fabric goes to the top. And mark where I am supposed to fold the pocket. So what I did was to sew my pocket to the self part of the fabric and turn it up. You will see why. And that's what I did with the pocket. It is. When I iron it, it's gonna be like this. I'm gonna turn around the pocket, this to the inside. It goes to the back, and this will be the front of my pocket. And the same, the other side, I will turn it. This will be the front of the pocket, but the back, it will be like this. Since I turn this little flap up, it's gonna be covered with cover stitch. So here is my pocket at front. This is how it looks in the back. I'm gonna go ahead and do a top stitching to leave this flap inside covered out of the way. So turn it around and get it ready. I know it's 1 inch, so I'm placing the line of the pocket in the 1 inch. Let's see if I can turn it around. I'm placing it in the 1 inch mark, and I'm gonna sew all the way through. I'm trying to make sure that this line keeps in the 1 inch mark. So far it looks like this. I check the back. It is out of the way. It is covered. But I like to make my top stitch with 2 lines. So here it goes. I'm gonna make the same. I'm gonna put my flap. I'm gonna put it in the same 1 inch mark. I'm gonna press my foot down. The only difference I'm gonna do is move my needle to the left. And I'm gonna keep making sure that this edge is all the way in the 1-inch line. Check it out. There are the 2 lines, and the back still in control. Covered. It gives this pretty 2-line top stitch. Now is the turn for the strap. I already turned my strap to the self fabric side, and I'm gonna do the same with this fabric. I'm gonna be using this strap turner. This is how you will find it. In here you have a little hook practically, where it will hook the fabric. It will close by itself. But before we do that, it is very good to reduce the seam allowance. It is good to reduce the seam allowance just to avoid bulk. This fabric sometimes happens to give me a little bit of itchy nose. So there we go. There is the hook. It gets into the fabric, and then we try to pull it a little bit, and it's gonna go in the inside. This is probably the most difficult part of the whole project, I would say. Thank goodness it's not spaghetti strap, because it's not easy, especially with a strap that is interface as it is this one. The reason this strap is interface is for later to add the buttons, and if it needs some sort of buttonholes, which that's what I did to this one that I'm wearing, to this jumper. I decided to put a normal button in the, I didn't go to the store to buy overalls buttons, so I put a normal button here inside the facing. And in the strap, I put the buttonhole. So I'm pulling a little bit with my hand, and with this hand, I am accommodating the fabric. So many people never have done this. This is a project for learning to sew, and I'm making this project because there are so many people that wanted to make a project from something that it is a commercial pattern, but there are no videos to guide them, and some of those are self-taught people just learning for first time. I went to buy this fabric at Hobby Lobby, and when I got that pattern, it was in discount. When I got the pattern, the lady at the cash register told me, "Oh, I really would love to learn to sew, but I don't know if it's difficult." It tells you how to do this project. And I told her, yes, it does have instructions, but sometimes it's much easier when you can see how to do certain things. So what I do is, once I can see the beginning of the fabric that I got, I'm gonna go take the hook out of here, and with my finger I'm gonna try to pull. It will be much comfortable, much easier. So there we go. See, much easier. And I can just pull the middle of this, holding strong from here and accommodating with the other finger. Go. It's almost there. Like I said, it's probably, I consider turning the straps, a painful job in the sewing area. Maybe some other people have a shortcut, I know, but sometimes it's just not the same. So after this, what I'm gonna do is sew this. Is gonna be ironing the strap to make it look. There we go. And there is my second strap. This is one side. I like to make sure that I make the seam lay flat, be flat, so it doesn't be like skinny here and wide in there. So I go with my fingers accommodating the strap, because it is good to have some good accommodating the fabric in your project, so it looks neat, it looks professional. You made it at home, but it doesn't have to look homemade. So that's the reason, after I accommodate all the strap, I'm gonna go to the iron board and iron it to make sure it lays flat all the way through. And when I put it in the rest of the project, I'm doing finger ironing. That's what it's called. Sure, it looks flat. And that's also another reason why I have an interfacing. Interfacing makes it look sturdier, very sturdy, and giving it that good look. Because the important thing, they are gonna look both the same. So here I have my straps, the pocket, and then after I iron them, I'm gonna go ahead and place them in the body of the, I'm gonna place it in the body of the jumper. So let's wait to see how it goes. Okay friends, here I am. I already ironed my straps. I don't think that you guys needed to be there to be able to see that, but all my straps are well ironed. I have the two corners, the two straps that they are gonna go like this. And look at the pocket. I did the pocket. This is the front of the pocket. This is the back of the pocket. I already ironed the area that I'm gonna be sewing, and it is ready for me to go once and place my pocket in the front of my pattern. So what I'm gonna do is adjust it for now. This is my front pattern. There it goes. Here is where the placement of the pocket goes. But I have all the line, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna take away this thread, since I like to go cleaning up my project as I go. I have this yellow line already there to help me align my project and make sure that my pocket is not gonna end up being crooked. Not crooked at all. So I'm gonna be pinning Goodness, this fabric sometimes gives me allergy. Placing my pins in that way is the way that's easier for me to sew. Inside. Nothing more fun than getting a pin and getting poked by it. Okay. In the back. I'm using way too many pins, but I just wanted to make sure the placement is gonna be correct. So this is gonna be for the front. So cute already. And to the back, what I'm gonna do is, front looking good. To the back, I'm gonna open to the, again, to the soft fabric, the prettiest side of the fabric, the one that we use, soft fabric. And here I have also my placements. I'm gonna start by placing my straps. You're just gonna turn that way. So I'm gonna place it in this way. They should be kissing. They're gonna be like this. But align with the back. So this corner, the one that's longer, is gonna be placed in there, aligned, making sure it's inside the dot. So here we go. So it's not caught. We're now gonna be sewing the facing. And the same, this one, the longest point is gonna meet with the other longest point. It actually will be a little bit one on top of the other. So there I go. I like to place my pins where they are gonna be slightly out of the sewing. So when I remove them, I make sure I'm not sewing over my pins. So I'm gonna be marking my allowance. I'm gonna be marking my allowance in this area as well, just to make sure my straps are not gonna be caught. So you can go ahead and sew that. If you are a more advanced, sewer, what you can do is go ahead and place your facing, but that's not what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do step by step. I'm gonna go put my straps and put my pocket. So I'm gonna start by sewing my pocket, needle down, back stitch, and remove my pins. and use my hands only to guide the fabric properly. A little back stitch, raise my foot and turn it around. I'm gonna give it another stitch. Just so it's closer to the edge, and raise it. Lower the foot again and continue. I'm gonna remove my stitch, my pin, sorry. And continue. It's important to do the pocket before you do the sewing of the body, because in that matter, it is easier. It's not gonna be in the middle of it. Turn it around. And I'm gonna go ahead and remove that pin. It's too close. Remove my pin again. And back stitch. You see, this is the placement of the pocket. This is how it looks. Super nice. Now I'm gonna continue with the straps. There are the straps. What I'm gonna do is sew. Turn around my project and make sure I accommodate everything that's not moving. I didn't do any back stitch, nothing. All I want to make sure is that I put them in place, because then the facing is gonna come on top of it. So at this point they are secure on the fabric. I don't have to use pins anymore to hold it. Now the part that I'm gonna do is put the back and the front together by the sides. So you are gonna see, let me show you so you don't have to see my face, but instead the project. Here is the back side, the right part of the fabric, and here is the front side with the pocket down. So front, right side of the fabric and right side of the fabric goes together, and we are gonna meet in the sides and gonna sew all the way down. Let's do that. I'm gonna do it's like the underarm of the project. I'm gonna go ahead and sew it. Seam allowance, and I know that I have the 5/8 inches seam allowance because my fabric goes in that line. So there I go and sew. stitch. So now I'm gonna do the same in the other side. I'm gonna meet front with right side of fabric with right side of fabric. So in this area is gonna be the back side of the fabric. Align it. And I'm gonna start sewing. So let me go to the table and show you how it looks. So here we are on the table. This is the front, the right side of the back. They are together. I already sew all the side from the underarm to the bottom of my jumper, and I did the same in the other side. So what it comes next is to put the facing on each other. I'm gonna go ahead and do my serging on the sides to clean it up. Is the way I like it, and come back to do the facings. Okay guys, so I have already sewn, serged the sides of the seam that we just made. I'm gonna turn it so the right fabric, the soft fabric, the good looking fabric is outside, because we are gonna start making ready the jumper to put the facing on. So there we go. In this side I can see my straps, and in the front side I can see my pocket. Let me remove that. Now I suggest that you go to the sewing machine as well, and you are gonna gather your facings on the side. Also, you are gonna do the same as you did in the jumper. You're gonna make right side and right side of the self fabric together, and where you see the back side of the fabric, you're gonna join them by the 5/8 inch seam allowances in both sides, because we are gonna use it. Turn it around, and I'm gonna start by putting the self fabric, the beautiful fabric or the self fabric of the front facing with the beautiful self fabric of the front. I'm gonna pin it. Let's see how it goes if I pin myself again. Same here. Goes all the way through the side. all both seams should be lined up. The side of the self-facing should be lined up with this, with the fabric, the seam that you have on the side. They all should line up. This I go on the inside. Everything lining up. All the self fabric. This is the front. Now I'm gonna go ahead again where the seam is, in here, in the seam of the facing, putting it together with the side seam. And they should match all together. And we're gonna do the same in the back. In the back, what you need to make sure is that these straps are gonna be inside the sandwich. This is absolutely what is so important to watch. So there is my back side. This is my back side, and the facing is gonna be on top of the strap. So when we sew it, this going inside, the straps will be get free. You follow that direction, it'll be no problem at all. So I'm gonna pin. Actually, let's do it in the middle so I use less pins. And it's matching all the way around. I don't need to add any more pins. So let's go to the sewing machine and sew all the facing through. I'm going to begin on the front. Remove my pin. Align my fabric. And so, keeping in mind my seam allowance, that it is 5/8 inch. Now make sure, since I don't use many pins, my hands are gonna help me to accommodate my fabric. Remove my pin. Continue. Now we are getting in the back side of the jumper. Trying to keep my fabric flat. Now I'm gonna make sure everything keeps flat and follow my 5/8 seam allowance. Keeping my straps free from being caught in the new seams. We are getting to the front again. Remove my pin. You don't want to sew all your pins. It will ruin the tempo in the machine, the timer. And now all I have to do is sew the front, the top of the front. Now, let's go to the table and show you how it's looking. So here is the front facing all on, going back all to the back facing. But before I turn this around, I like the curves to be very nice. What I like to do is make a little in the curves. I like to lose this tension a little bit by making some clips. That will make it line up much better when turning around. I will do the same in the back. Everywhere I have a curve, other side. Didn't cut all the way to the thread, only a little bit. This facing goes to the inside of the garment. Can turn it around, turn it around. And put the collar. And one corner down. Facing to the inside. See all these, I'm gonna iron it. It'll look much better. So I'm gonna do the same with the other corner. I'm gonna turn it backwards. So let's see. I'm gonna turn it this to the back. Then this side goes to the back as well. So I'm gonna keep it there. I'm gonna go inside the facing, holding, and inside it goes. Just to keep that point good and sharp. And inside goes the facing. What I'm left to do is to place my buttons here in the position I have for the buttons. A bit more visible now. Well, I'm going to hem and top stitch the jumper. First hem the hem, and then I go around and top stitch the front, the underarm, and the back. Let's do it. I always like to begin in one of the seams. There we go. Let's see if you guys can see that. And in the next side now goes to the front. stitch, back stitch, hem is finished. Now I would like to go around. Look at this curve, flat and nice because of the little trims that we did around. So that's what we're gonna do in here, going around. And top stitch. It also will help for those little, the underarm that is not serged, it will not unravel, it will be safe. I use my hand to help in the curves. Turn around. You know. We are again at the front. So I have finished the top stitching. Of the whole jumper. We did the hem, and now what I'm gonna do is finish the there we go. So now all I have to do is do a little trim here in between and separate the thread. And they are both done. Now my jumper is finished. The straps are finished. All I have to do left is simply put my buttons. Sometimes it's not as simple. The buttons are gonna go in here in the bottom placement as it was. The cool thing of this is that they roll, so it's nothing difficult to do. And this is my strap. Let's try to put it on. And there is one of my straps already on. Now let me show you how I did it. It's very simple. I'm gonna go through this. I'm gonna go through the front one and go down. I'm gonna see it again. I'm gonna put it in the table so it will be much easier to see. There are two sides. So it's gonna come through this. It's gonna come and it's gonna go through the last loop. I'll leave a tail, I'll turn it around. Now what I'm gonna do is leave space, some space in, because this tail is gonna go through here and come out in this one to secure. So it's gonna go through the middle one, and it's gonna come out in the first one. It's gonna come out in the first. And pull. And turn it around. That's the way it goes. And I'm pulling, so it's secure. So they are gonna go here. I'm gonna go here and here. What I need to do now is, this looks funny in this one. What I'm gonna do is try to put my buttons. Let's see. I need, oh goodness. So I have this little, what is the name of it? What I'm going to introduce is where I have the mark of the button. And it's gonna break just a little tiny bit so I can place this little screw through it. So let's see. I'm gonna do it the other way. The good thing of this punch hole, it is that it doesn't just cut the fabric. What it does is it opens through the fiber of the fabric. And now with the button, I already place it in the back through the hole, and I'm going to roll it, screw it. Doesn't seem easy to do. Goodness. This button is gonna have to be with a hammer punched down. That's what it is. Oh goodness. So I'll be back when it's finished, but I'm gonna have to go down and hammer it.